Hello, hello, hello again, guys. We're back again with mOOnGLaDe versus SKMC in the MLG Championship Series. In the Open Bracket Round 5, this is Game 2, this time on MLG Daybreak. So, in that first game on Clad Kingdom, MC went for the Century Immortal All-In, a very, very popular build and very, very powerful build in this matchup these days. But Glade managed to bait enough force fields and bide his time until he had an army sufficient enough to take out the All-In. As soon as the army evaporated, MC immediately GG'd and moved right on into the second game. So, one up in this best of 3 series. Glade now spawning in the top right, once again as the purple Zerg, and MC spawning down in the bottom left as the red Protoss, of course. If you don't know either of these players, you're probably not following esports very precisely, or maybe you just only watch European games or North American games, but you do see a lot of MC in North America, and Europe actually, so no, if you don't know who MC is, you're just not following esports. I'm going to retract all that. Alrighty, so, absolutely no variation whatsoever at this stage, of course. You're not going to see any sort of weird 10 pulls or anything like that from Glade. Sometimes you'll see him 12 pull against Protoss, because if you can 12 pull against a Protoss who goes Nexus first, you can get there before the cannon finishes, and you cause one of two things to happen. Either they have to pull like at least 8 probes to deal with it, to try and push the Zerglings away until you've got the cannon up, or they're forced to cancel the cannon. So it really, really puts them in a very difficult situation, but not doing that in this game. No 12 pull, just going for the 14. MC still poking around, sneaking around, seeing what he can see. Not much to look at, really. Probe looks a little bit bored. Poor Probe. Meanwhile, back over here, MC not taking any risks, getting the Forge first. Not going for a Nexus or anything crazy like that. Maybe on a 4-player map he'd feel more comfortable. Now in that last game we saw MC go for this harassment, trying to prevent mOOnGLaDe from putting down the hatchery. We can see him doing it again this time. It was not successful in that last game, because mOOnGLaDe was able to deflect it with that second drone, and it looks like he's done it again. So MC not choosing to throw down a pylon or anything like that. Just delaying him for a little bit without sacrificing any money of his own. So mOOnGLaDe's Overlord now not surprised in the slightest to arrive and see the Forge, the Nexus, and a Gateway, with a cannon to follow pretty soon, which will probably be wedged in nice and tight here or here. So now we can probably expect to see Glade take that very, very quick third base again. We did see him do that last game, as a response to MC's passive opening, or economic opening you could say. I guess you could call it more passive than economic because, oh wait, I was just about to say because he's not getting his gases yet, but there they are, 2 gases going down immediately in parallel to this Gateway. So Ling's just kind of poking around, checking to see if MC was going to build some cannons behind the third. Always a giant pain if your opponent builds cannons behind the third. You throw down the hatchery and realize, oh god, I have to deal with these cannons hidden behind the minerals. I've only got Zerglings. This is going to be a nightmare to handle. But MC opting not to do anything like that, getting the most out of his economy at this early stage of the game. So, Nexus now completing for MC. Cybernetics core on the way. Glade's natural hatchery is completed. These Zerglings that are so hungry for probe meat. If probes had meat, what would you even call it? Probe bits? Probe scraps. Let's call it probe scraps, that sounds about right. But unfortunately they don't have the speed upgrade, they're not going to have it anytime soon, so this little probe is going to get... oh! Actually, it's going to be tight. Oh, one more hit! Oh! I got it! He did lose his Zergling for his trouble, but hey. That is one less probe for MC. 25 drones versus, oh, make that 27 for 27, so evening it up nicely. And of course, first blood going to mOOnGLaDe. So, that third hatchery, almost complete. Let's see mOOnGLaDe droning up like crazy, once again like that last game, really delaying his gases. If it's anything like the last game, we'll probably see him take all 3 gases in about 1 minute from now. Meanwhile, MC taking his third gas, but not opening with Robo this time. He's actually getting that Stargate, which is quite the deviation from what we saw him do throughout a lot of his games during the weekend. Very, very often he was favoring the Immortal style. So, Glade now scouting out that third, keeping a Ling nearby, making sure that no shenanigans or any quick third bases happen. Let's see, Warp Gate Research not being chrono boosted by MC, favoring to chrono boost probes at this stage. Sneaky Overlord trying to get in and have a look at the gases. He did see that this gas was taken, and only 50 gas had been harvested so far. Looks like he's going to get away. Happy Overlord. This Zergling's happy too. You can't tell, but I know he is. Meanwhile, this Overlord gets right on in and sees absolutely nothing. Neither of them, oh my god, neither of them actually saw the Stargate. That must have been so close with that first Overlord. Those poor Overlords sacrificing their lives and not finding anything of value. Goodbye. Goodbye. Now, of course, the valuable thing that the Overlords did discover, of course, is that there are Phoenixes on the map. So Glade now throwing down 2 Evolution Chambers. Getting his lair. Not getting any extra queens. Did he relocate? No, he didn't relocate the queen. So he's going to want to get up some Spore Crawlers pretty soon. And with these Phoenixes all over the map, oh, Glade losing another Overlord. This is a giant pain to deal with. 1 Phoenix, certainly worth the investment so far. You can see a second one and a third now approaching. And this is the point where Glade needs to start worrying about anti-air. So we can see 1 Spore Crawler going down, 2 and 3, 1 at each of the bases, allowing him to deflect those Phoenixes. But it looks like he's going to lose a couple of drones, or wow, maybe even a queen. Let's see if he can save the queen. Nope, not going to happen. Now if he loses this one, it's going to be a giant pain. Of course, that second queen was produced for this macro hatchery, so he's going to have to replace that queen. But fortunately, only losing a queen in that exchange, well, you can't really call it an exchange because MC didn't lose anything but energy. Now with 5 Phoenixes on the map, he's going to be able to come over and probably pick off this queen. Glade's going to have to be very, very, very careful. Yep, this queen is completely exposed. There is no saving that queen. This is a huge pain to deal with. Now if we look at that production tab, 4 pylons now completing for MC. This means he really, really wants to start powering up that ground army production. We can see Sentries, Immortals, and a Robo now being warped in. That +1 research, not too far off completion. And actually setting up a 3rd base. This was very, very uncharacteristic of MC throughout the weekend. Well, I guess not uncharacteristic of MC, but I guess you could say uncharacteristic of Protoss. They show this and they start working towards that Sentry Immortal aggression, and then they go for the 2 base all-in. But MC constantly taking a 3rd base behind this, which is really, really cool to see. I don't see a lot of Protossers doing that. I guess they feel like if I can win on 2 bases, why wouldn't I? But MC actually going for the long haul, which is really cool. So right now the Phoenix is just being a pain. Glade sweeping around with some Lings, hoping to poke around, maybe get into the main, run right through this wall. Of course, this Zealot not going to let any of that happen. Lings can bash their faces against him all day long, and they're not getting through there. Ooh. Good of MC not to waste any force fields there. A lot of Protoss would just kind of panic and throw down a bunch of force fields trying to catch the Lings. But MC, confident, calm. It's very good to see. So this Phoenix count is still pretty staggering, and they have a lot of energy. Look at all that. That's like at least 6 or 7 lifts. Let's call it lifts. What's it called? Graviton Beam. They lift. They lift. So Glade going for a very, very quick 4th. Of course, we can't discount this macro hatch here. And no, not a macro hatch, just a bunch of buildings clustered together. Looks like a macro hatch on the minimap. So let's just compare the army count at this point. We have 52 for Glade, 42 for MC. And the harvester count, 81 drones versus 65 probes. So Glade with a pretty heavy economic lead at the moment, but losing a lot of these roaches as the Phoenixes fly around. Poor roaches. They should be able to spit acid while they're in the air, right? Like that would make sense. Maybe the Graviton Beam does more than lift. It like encapsulates you in a little bubble that can only be penetrated by Protoss beams. Let's go with that for realism. Of course, realism is very, very important in a game with space aliens and starships and stuff. Poor little guy, look at him. He's like, oh man, I didn't sign up for this. I'm afraid of heights. That's why they research Burrow. Alrighty, so checking out the attack of both players, MC's +2 attack is almost complete. There is a Robo Bay, about half done. Look at that gateway count, that's actually scary. Wow. Would not want to deal with that. Glade, on the other hand, dealing with some rocks. Rocks, a very, very potent threat in this matchup. And I say that in jest, but honestly, you get force fielded up that ramp and it's not going to be fun for anyone. Well, I guess it'll be fun for the Protoss. You can see +2 melee attack and armor on the way, with that pathogen glands as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see a hive start very, very soon. We'll keep an eye on that guy. And Glade's actually getting pretty close to maxing out. So he's probably going to want to start making some corruptors to complement those infestors soon. Actually, almost completely maxing out on Ling and Infesta. So it looks like no Corruptor is going to be out on the map for him. Not bothering to anticipate those Colossi or deal with the Phoenixes at all, just going to be relying purely on infested Terrans and a little bit of fungal growth splashed in here and there. So MC's +2 is done and +3 is half complete. He's really powering up with those upgrades. Meanwhile, Glade's 2-2 on the Lings is almost done, and no attack upgrades for those Roaches. Looks like he's really preparing for that sort of late game scenario where you've got the Broodlord and Festa, and there we go, there's the Hive going down. And of course the melee upgrades do influence the Broodlings. So the actual the impact of the Broodlings is based on your air attack, but once the Broodlings have spawned and they're attacking things on the ground, their damage is based on the melee attack upgrade. So by getting the air attack and the melee attack, you can really, really improve the efficiency of those Broodlords. Alrighty, so Glade picking up Overlord speed and Burrow. It's pretty cool. Burrow, of course, is there to preserve the Infestors once they've run out of energy. Need to run those guys away. Now, does MC see this hatchery? No, he's just outside of vision. But of course, when he does discover it, he's not going to be surprised in the slightest. Looks like MC wants to bust right through the rocks. Both players completely maxed out now. Glade with a pretty impressive bank, but MC with a damn scary army. That is a tremendous death ball. His sentry count fairly diminished from what it was earlier. I'm not sure if he killed some off, or maybe he had less than I realized, but the Stalker count is what is really scary at this point. Now the Phoenixes can lift up these Infestors if they tried to get too close. Glade now relying on these Spine Crawlers to buy him time and positioning. Roach is trying to sweep in, but the force fields are just way too good. Oh my god, the Infested Terrans are raining down everywhere. And look at this, so many Infestors being picked up by the Phoenixes, but look at the Infested Terrans just melting everything. Fungal growth preventing MC's army from retreating, and Glade now with a 200 supply army against a 120 of MC. MC really on the ropes right now. I dare say most Protoss players would probably lead the game at this stage after suffering such heavy losses. But I mean, when you're at the elimination point, you probably want to stick around and try and make the most of the game, because there is always the potential for that comeback. So Glade now showing his hand that he was in preparation for that Broodlord and Festa composition. Unfortunately, that attack delayed his Great Aspire so much. His Hive has been finished for quite a while, but he kind of forgot about his Great Aspire with everything that was going on. Of course, surviving in the here and now is obviously more important than getting a Great Aspire up for later. So, MC now starting to populate this fourth base. Of course, the main's going to be drying up quite a bit. Natural won't be too far behind it. Of course, he did go for that really, really fast expansion. And you can tell MC primarily wants this base for the gas. His mineral income is fantastic if we just compare the income there. But the gas is what is really, really important, because he knows he needs to start moving into that that Archon toilet sort of style. He needs the mothership, he needs the Stalkers, he needs a lot of Archons in preparation for the Broodlord and Festa. And look at this, a Warp Prism actually on the way. Looks like he wants to do some of this Grubby-esque harassment. We often see games from Grubby, especially in IEM Singapore, where he might be a little bit behind, so he instantly gets out that Warp Prism, starts harassing like crazy, maybe even 2 Warp Prisms, and warping in 10 Zealots in the main base, 10 Zealots down here, a bunch of Zealots over here, and before you know it, there's DTs attacking hatcheries, you don't have Overseers anywhere, you just start losing all of your infrastructure, all of your bases, and it's a great way for a Protoss player to get back into the game. So Roach is just kind of creeping on in here, picking off a cannon, and Stalker's saying, no more of that. There's a Fleet Beacon and the Templar Archives from MC, getting Zealot Charge, and Gravitic Drive, which I believe is the Warp Prism speed upgrade, which is very cool to see. Let's check it out. Yep. Increasing the movement speed of Warp Prisms. A bunch of Zealots bullying some Roaches. These poor Roaches have got no chance. Nope. Maybe I spoke too soon, because that is a lot of Zerglings. And this is actually going to be good for Glade. Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of Zerglings to these Zealots. But at the same time, it frees up more supply for Broodlords, which is great. Zerglings not fantastic at this stage of the game. I mean, obviously you need something to complement and support your Broodlord army. Oh no, he's going to lose the Infestation Pit before Neural Parasite can complete. But yeah, like I was saying, you want to have something on the ground buffering all of that damage. Otherwise the Stalkers can just walk right on up and snipe all of your Broodlords. Look how efficient those Zealots are with a +3 upgrade, my god. They killed so many Zerglings. Crazy. Alrighty, so Storm now being researched. 7 more Broodlords and 5 more Corruptors on the way for mOOnGLaDe. Happily losing those Zerglings. And another War Prism is also on the way. Look at this! More Zealots just walking right on in. Now, did mOOnGLaDe replace the Infestation Pit? I don't think he did. He must have forgotten about it because he has not replaced it. And more Zerglings going to go down here. Of course, mOOnGLaDe cannot move away with these Broodlords. If he leaves that base undefended, MC's going to come in with all those Blink Stalkers and take it out quick smart. At the same time, speaking of Blink Stalkers, another big batch of them being extremely annoying down here, sniping off this base. Infestors exposing themselves a little bit, but MC not really noticing with everything going on up here. It looks like the Infestors will deal with those Stalkers perfectly fine. At the cost of a hatchery, unfortunately. More Zealots being annoying here. mOOnGLaDe really needs to bring the Corruptors up here and handle this aggression. Oh, Corruptors pulling back. They thought about it. Now you might think, yeah, MC's really kind of throwing away a lot of money by doing this. I mean, he's lost at least, what, like 20, maybe 30 Zealots? But at this stage, he's pretty much maxed out. He only needs Archons, so he's happy to throw away supply in the form of Zealots and replace it with Archons. And of course, this buys him time to pick up some more bases. So this is exactly what MC needs to do to get back in the game. Look at that, mOOnGLaDe actually corrupting the Zealots so they take more damage. That's kind of funny. The only thing funnier than that is like corrupting an SCV when you're like Zergling harassing or something. More Broodlords on the way. My god, that's going to be a lot of Broodlords. Let's check it out. That is 13 Broodlords with 5 more on the way. That's a little bit scary. This hatchery going to go down, and it looks like mOOnGLaDe has said, I've had enough. Not going to bother dealing with this harassment anymore. I'm going to push. But MC already has the mothership. It is just eclipsing that energy count it needs for the Vortex. mOOnGLaDe actually pulling his army home to deal with this. Observer sees all. God, it would be agonizing to see all of those Broodlords die in one enormous Vortex. Goodbye, Observer. So again, another big batch of Blink Stalkers coming down here to harass this base. I'm pretty sure these Zerglings will be more than enough to deal with it. They have 3/3 upgrades. They probably have the Adrenal Gland upgrade as well. Yeah, they definitely do. These Stalkers can blink all day, but on their own they're not going to be able to do much. These Zealots, on the other hand, are going to be exactly what MC needs to contest these Zerglings. mOOnGLaDe once again being forced to bring more of his army down here to defend this base. Really struggling to handle the harassment of MC. And of course, mOOnGLaDe is, he's not silly. He knows exactly what MC is doing behind all this. He knows that he's going to have an enormous army of Archons, Templar, Stalkers, and that mothership behind this. So he's not quite sure how to engage, because you might be wondering, why doesn't he just go and kill him? Why does he keep bouncing back and forth between these bases, letting himself get harassed? But it's not all about that. He knows for a fact that MC is in a very difficult to attack position right now. Look how fast that War Prism is! The Corruptors just can't keep up. That's insane. We can see MC actually making carriers now. Getting that Protoss air attack, getting the shields, getting the Graviton Catapult, which increases the launch speed of those interceptors. Oh my god, and it's a probe attack. They almost took out a Spine Crawler. More Zealots being warped into harass this bottom base. mOOnGLaDe is being pulled back and forth all over the place, and of course when you've got units as slow as Broodlords against fast units like Charged Zealots and a War Prism, it's really difficult. You spend a lot of time chasing your own tail, but it looks like mOOnGLaDe finally deciding to go in for this engagement. Does he have Neural Parasite? No, he doesn't. I still don't think he actually replaced that. Oh my god, that Vortex was amazing. He didn't replace the Infestation Pit, so he's not going to have Neural Parasite at all. Now, all these Corruptors really exposed. The Broodlords are fine, but the Corruptors about to emerge from this Archon toilet. Oh my god. Goodbye, Corruptors. But he did manage to snipe the mothership. That was very quick and very sharp. Now, at the same time, at this bottom right base, the Zealots have taken out the hatchery yet again. mOOnGLaDe sending Zerglings down there to deal with it, but of course that many Zerglings not going to be able to do anything about it. Infested Terrans coming out to deal with this one carrier. The Broodlords are completely uncontested. Looking at the harvester count, 76 to 50. MC quickly lowering that though, as all of these Broodlings chase them around. MC still doing really well with these Zealots. Warping in a proxy pylon actually, so he can really force the aggression on mOOnGLaDe's side of the map where the Broodlords are not. And MC at this stage not really doing much. Oh, here we go. So he doesn't want to defend this base. He wants to go for the base trade. There's nothing down here to defend for mOOnGLaDe except a bunch of Zerglings, and these Archons alone can kill them, let alone the Zealots or the Colossi or the Storms or the Stalkers. There is so much here that mOOnGLaDe just does not have a response to. 3 more carriers and a mothership in production for MC. He's really committed to this carry attack. He knows that he killed all the Corruptors of mOOnGLaDe, and now he's hoping to capitalize. So mOOnGLaDe attacking the space with Broodlings. Look at that. So many Broodlings just focusing down the Nexus so quickly. mOOnGLaDe now realizing he needs to turn around, take this army home. Infested Terrans cleaning up a lot of the probes here. Comparing the army account once again. 140. Excuse me, losing my breath there. 142 for mOOnGLaDe. Going up to 164 now as he produces 13 more Corruptors against a 126 of MC. So many Corruptors picking off those Colossi. It looks like mOOnGLaDe's in a pretty good position to deal with this army, but he's losing so much infrastructure, so many hatcheries going down. He's going to lose the Great Aspire as well at this stage. Infested Terrans jumping up to try and cut these reinforcements off. Oh, the Great Aspire actually being left alone thanks to those spine crawlers. But 2 more hatcheries going to go down here, and mOOnGLaDe making even more Corruptors. MC getting a nice blink here to pick off a few Broodlords, but it's not going to matter. Look at all the Broodlings swarming around. Corruptors sweeping in to take out the Colossi, and that is pretty much it for MC's army. Now looking at the supply, MC actually still in the lead, but if we just compare the army and the harvester count, 9 workers for mOOnGLaDe, 51 for MC. So mOOnGLaDe's advantage definitely in the army, MC's in the harvester count. Now this is the only mining base that MC has at the moment, pulling those carriers home. Warp Prism picking up his Templar on the way back by the looks of it. Very smart choice. mOOnGLaDe now throwing down a hatchery up here, and down here. Oh, this one's actually completed. So if we just look at that harvester count again, it's actually up to 21 now. mOOnGLaDe investing his last 1,000 minerals into replacing them. Is this Warp Prism full of Templar going to go down? Oh, it is definitely going to go down. See you later. That is not what MC wanted to happen at that point. So if we just look around the map, that is actually a decent number of Archons. MC reserving his gas very well. But again, the Zealots being such a pain. Broodlords all the way across the map, unable to contest. And look at the number of Corruptors. That's actually terrifying. That is 17 Broodlords and 21 Corruptors supported by 11 Infestors. But unfortunately, none of them are on this side of the map, so he can't do anything about these Zealots. mOOnGLaDe not splitting his army in any capacity, and I think I just heard another mothership come out, or was that just a carrier? Oh wow, here it is. 3 carriers, another mothership with a lot of energy, a decent number of Templar, huge number of Stalkers, and the Archons are the really scary part here. So mOOnGLaDe now just destroying the front base of MC. This base up here looking like it's going to be operational again soon. mOOnGLaDe losing this base but preserving all the drones. It looks like this hatchery is going to go down for free. Absolutely nothing here to protect it. Actually, not much around to protect anything really. These are the only 2 spine crawlers on the map. mOOnGLaDe now throwing down those forward infested Terran eggs, forcing MC to take some damage if he wants to approach this army. Once again, the army count 136 versus 98. MC actually reproducing nicely, and oh my god, MC recalling out, getting out of his base and moving over here. This is huge, going for the base trade now, and mOOnGLaDe doesn't realize. He only realizes now that MC's army is gone, and he knows exactly what's going on. He needs to get home, he needs to defend these hatcheries. This top right corner is already exposed to Zealots. Not much is going to save it. Drones evacuating. This hatchery is gone for sure. mOOnGLaDe's struggling. He's sending his entire army home to save this hatchery. He knows that this is the last hatchery he's going to be able to save at this point, and he has to protect it against this pretty scary army of MC. I mean, the supply count, not that big. 98, but it's a big army. I mean, in terms of damage, carriers, storms, Archons, huge upgrades, and of course you can never discount the Vortex. Oh my god, the Corruptor's hoping to... No, not actually getting a snipe there. Templar moving in to get some key storms on those Corruptors. Wow. So we look at that production tab, absolutely nothing happening for either player at the moment. Pretty scary. MC now looking to do some damage with these carriers to this base. This is mOOnGLaDe's last base on the map. At the same time, a bunch of Lings sniping all of these probes. mOOnGLaDe was hoping to take out that mothership with the Corruptors, but he just can't get close enough without risking the Vortex. My god, that's a terrifying army. Now, how many Overseers do we have here? Overseers are a really big important point. Only 2 Overseers. Oh, he needs to be careful, they're going forward! Oh my god. Mothership does go down, but he did land the Vortex. So many storms going down, it looks like the Overseers are gonna die. Maybe not, no. Stalker's actually blinking past the Vortex, hoping to get home. Meanwhile, the Archon's stuck, completely surrounded by Broodlings. And the carriers do go down. So now the army supply 38 versus 105, but oh my god, MC going for the hatchery! This is mOOnGLaDe's last building. He does make an extractor at the last second. Does MC realize? No, he didn't realize. Wow, making an emergency hatchery at the last second as well. Whew, if it wasn't for that hatchery and that extractor, mOOnGLaDe would have just been eliminated from the game right there, despite this impressive army that MC just has no response to right now. He can't beat this army. So now mOOnGLaDe realizing he needs to protect these two structures. Oh, and making another hatchery down here, of course. Not many drones on the map. That is 8 drones versus 36 probes. MC, all of his economy situated right here at the moment. Warping in a bunch of zealots, and right now he really can't afford zealots. I think he lost his Templar Archives during the attack. No, he's actually still got the Templar Archives. It survived with half of its health. So he can warp in more Archons. That is a huge plus for MC at this stage with that decent amount of gas banked. mOOnGLaDe now sending changelings into the base. Getting a decent look around. Hi guys, we were over there attacking the Zerg base. MC none the wiser. This probe laying waste to the Zerg extractor. Oh, and he calls in reinforcements. He didn't need you guys. He was fine. One lone broodlord being sent up here. Realizing the error of his ways, he's like, wait, what am I doing? I'm not a DT. Crazy me. So a bunch of zealots just occupying the watchtower. mOOnGLaDe wants to attack. I mean, look at this army. Whenever you have this army, you just want to go and kill stuff. But he can't do anything at all. He knows he can't leave this base. If he abandons it, MC will come down and crush it. He doesn't know what MC has on the map. He can't send away too much or too little without risking the game. So this is a pretty scary position to be in. He's doing as much scouting as he can with these changelings, trying to get as much information as possible. MC producing another mothership from this nexus, surprisingly enough, not the one that he's got defended the most. I guess it's just one of those things where you select the hotkey for your nexuses and press M, although he does use different hotkeys, so maybe not. Maybe there is a logical decision why he chose this one. Actually, no, I think I understand. Because if you're a Protoss player and you have one mining base, you expect that this is where the Zerg player is going to attack, right? So as a Zerg player, you anticipate that is where he's also going to be making the mothership. And in this circumstance, neither of those are true, because MC has decided I'm going to build the mothership at the base that is least likely to be attacked, which is very clever. But oh wow, as mOOnGLaDe moved out, MC realized there was a moment to strike, sending these zealots in to deal with the hatchery. The Corruptor's arriving with plenty of time, but they can't attack ground units. mOOnGLaDe deciding to abandon this hatchery completely, realizing that no matter what, he can't save this. Even if the Broodlords arrive, he cannot save this hatchery. So deciding to come up here and save this one instead. Now he did lose that extractor, he did lose this hatchery. Keep in mind, this is mOOnGLaDe's only building on the map right now. This hatchery is the only thing keeping him in the game, despite the fact that he has this impressive army. But look at the supply! All of a sudden, out of nowhere, MC now up on mOOnGLaDe, 117 to 112, that's 82 army versus 104. Pretty scary stuff, and ooh, sneaky submarine infestors. Laying down a bunch of infested Terrans in this probe line. That is really going to hurt the economy of MC. So many probes being trapped in there, having to mineral walk their way through, and mOOnGLaDe not actually caring about the probes, going straight for the Nexus. Very smart move, but unfortunately MC does already have enough to make a replacement Nexus. So abandoning this base completely, and going for a new one down here. Ooh, are these probes? No, no, they're going to return minerals here, okay. Thought they were going back at the top to continue mining. Now how many infestors does mOOnGLaDe have? He has only these 3, and he's just used up all their energy, so that's a little bit worrying. It's a very daunting position to be in. This mothership's energy accumulating more and more. It has 1 vortex in the chamber. mOOnGLaDe taking a sneaky hatchery down here. I guess he doesn't expect MC to be checking that side of the map anytime soon. I personally feel like taking this one again would probably be a better option though, because I mean it allows you to travel a shorter distance between both bases. But I'm not the pro gamer, so I'm not going to question it. mOOnGLaDe now checking out this base again, expecting to find more a replacement Nexus or maybe some long distance mining probes. Doesn't see either, but he does now know about this base thanks to the changelings that we heard dying moments ago. Unfortunately, only enough to spawn six infested Terrans. They will kill off a few probes, which is great, but the Stalkers will handle it pretty quickly. Oh, 1 Stalker going down. MC's army once again, 80 supply. Looks like he must have sacrificed a bunch of zealots to try and snipe something. Because I swear he was a little bit higher before. Maybe not. Wow. That zealot. I don't know what he was thinking. He's like, hey guys, I'm just gonna go over and see if the broodlords are still here. Like maybe they migrated to another planet. Oh god, they're still here. That's pretty much how his life ended. Although, fun fact, for those of you playing at home that don't realize this, when zealots quote unquote die, they don't actually die. They don't like go to like zealot heaven or anything like that. They get ripped out of their suit, and their spirit, their soul, whatever you want to call it, gets sent back to the homeworld. Also, that's what they said in Brood War, right? But now the homeworld kind of got destroyed by the Zerg, so I wonder where they go now. Wouldn't it suck if you're a zealot, right? And you're in this big battle and you just get picked off and you're like, ah, damn it, infested Terrans again. And you're like, your spirit's traveling through like a wormhole or something, you're just flying through space, and you land back on the homeworld and you're surrounded by Zergs, you're like, oh, damn it. That would be a bad time. So MC still doesn't know about this hatchery. Wandering right on past it. Looks like he's going to check out the entire map and see what he can find. mOOnGLaDe now deciding once again that he wants to move forward and apply some pressure. This mothership has 2 vortexes in it. That's a scary sight for a Zerg player. You never want to be fighting against a mothership with 2 vortexes in it. Only 6 Archons, but when I say only, that's still enough to one-shot anything in a vortex. Can these Broodlords pick off any of the Archons? No, there's no detection nearby. A lot of this army still kind of wandering around. I guess they're expecting a hatchery there. MC now thoroughly convinced that this is MC's only base. mOOnGLaDe's only base, I should say. MC, MC, MC. Oh, Corruptors, no, what are you doing? Why would you do that, Corruptors? You're gonna die! Oh my god, is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? He got it! He took down the mothership at the cost of like 14 Corruptors. So if MC makes another mothership, mOOnGLaDe is not gonna have a response. He now only has Broodlords. Oh wait, maybe there's still a few Corruptors in there. Not anymore. These Broodlords are really exposed. If the Blink Stalkers get underneath them, a good storm or 2 get thrown down. Yikes. Glade needs to be so careful, and a replacement mothership is on the way from this base yet again. Good to see MC being consistently clever. Cleverly consistent. Oh dear, only 2 Corruptors, and mOOnGLaDe now getting his 45-minute spawning pool. So tragic to have such a devastating army and have your tech completely reset. Have the entire game be reset at this stage of the game. It's pretty messed up. So now these infestors discovering that MC has had a base down here all along. The whole time he was applying pressure to this position here, MC's been harvesting so much economy here. mOOnGLaDe actually throwing down another hatchery down here in this exposed secret location. That Zealot had a bad time. That one, not so bad. Ooh, what was that? Was that broodlings? Must have been broodlings. Wow, these zealots. mOOnGLaDe actually not giving chase. Of course, he realizes that if he chases the zealots all the way up into this base here, this location's completely exposed. And of course, MC's kind of hoping for the same thing. Oh, oh, Glade's actually doing it. mOOnGLaDe, no. No, mOOnGLaDe. Don't do that. Oh no! MC realizing the Broodlords are so far out of position. Maybe mOOnGLaDe is actually doing this to yeah, he's doing it to provoke the army. He wanted MC to think the Broodlords were still over there and exposed, but MC responding very, very quickly and turning around. Oh my god, and while all that was happening, a bunch of zealots came down and took out both of the hatcheries here. Youch. Army supply 124 for MC, only 102 for mOOnGLaDe. MC with now a commanding lead, warping in more Archons. And Glade has so much money. Look at that bank, 2,000 minerals, 4,000 gas. Simply cannot spend it. All he can do is make spine crawlers at this point. I think he must have caught wind of the zealots moving across the map. I don't think I've ever seen so many broodlings before. That's disgusting. Those poor zealots. Why are these guys even being paid? Come on, look at that. Look at that. It's like a local city council. Again, a bunch of infested Terrans being spawned in the mineral line here. Infestors being Massive trolls. And another mothership is out. mOOnGLaDe now, still with only those 2 corruptors. Not able to get a replacement spire. Oh, the spire's on the way though. Still with only 11 drones on the map thanks to the spine crawlers he currently has in production. And that actually used up all of mOOnGLaDe's bank. He spent all of it on spine crawlers. And another hatchery down here. Zealots realizing that I was calling them out for being lazy, deciding to relocate a little bit. Like, he won't notice if we move a bit. Yeah, we're all working. It's amazing how close he is to seeing that, but not quite. mOOnGLaDe pre-splitting all of his broodlords, anticipating the mothership attack any moment now. Bunch of stalkers stalking around. Infested Terrans infesting around. Did manage to take out that cannon, which is pretty cool. If he takes out the other one, he'll be able to harass that base a little bit more. So let's again look at the unit count. It is 2 Templar, 1 Mothership, 24 Stalkers, and a devastating 8 Archons to complement the lazy 21 Zealots versus 17 Broodlords, 4 Corruptors, 3 Lone Infestors, who have tried to do so much in this game. 7 kills, 17 kills, and 7. What are these 2 guys doing? This guy's carrying the team here. He's an assassin. These guys are just little slayers. Get it together, guys, and oh no. Hatchery's been discovered. Kiss that one goodbye, mOOnGLaDe. Come on, you guys are standing right there. Really? I'm so disappointed in all of you. Oh, yeah, and Broodlords are just like equally lazy. Could have killed some Zealots, and they're like, nope. Don't actually care. I didn't even know that hatchery. She was just at a party and I saw her and I was like, hey, and she was like, sup. That was the end of it. She's not my baby daddy. Wait. Oh, I think he just lost an infestor. Got a little bit too close to that that cannon. Yep, 1 infestor did just go down. Looks like MC now going for the final push. The mothership is going in for the vortex. Vortex number 1, right on the corruptors. See you later, corruptors. No response to this mothership right now. And the second vortex going right in the middle of these broodlords. There is only 4 broodlords in the air at the moment. Archons going into that first vortex. All of the corruptors are about to fall. I don't think mOOnGLaDe has any detection at the moment. Well, he does, but it's not going to last long. And oh my god. GG, well played, says mOOnGLaDe, as MC makes the most phenomenal comeback I've ever seen. That game was freaking crazy. Rewind to like, I think it was maybe the 17-minute mark or something, where it was like 200 supply versus 38 or something dumb like that. And look at this, and you would not imagine MC could have won that game. So, once again, that was game 2 of SKMC versus Envy mOOnGLaDe at the MLG Dallas Championships not group stages, sorry, Open Bracket round 5. We're going to jump into game 3. Feel free to check it out.